What's up everyone? In this video, I'm going to show you how to combine JSON with Unity3D. And what's cool is you'll be able to take the text from this text file right here and directly apply it to something in your scene in Unity. And we can update it and it'll change at runtime. And we can also use JSON to dictate color and position. So let's get to it. So for this example, we're going to use Unity's UI system to surface what our JSON is going to look like. And to start off, we are going to make a text file that you can use any text editor to generate. We're going to make these opening and closing tags, or these brackets, and we're going to use these variables right here to generate our content. So to get this to show up in Unity, we're going to make a class that has title and description associated with it. And then it's going to grab this this text right here and display it. I'm going to do a public class. We're going to call it config data. And then we're going to have two strings, one titled title and another one titled description. And you need to make sure that this is exactly the same as this variable here, or else it won't work. And I'm actually going to take this out and take it out of the class. We're going to use the onEnable function in Unity. So when you open up the script or enable it, it's going to assign the JSON text to this UI component in the scene. So first we'll write onEnable function. And to access this config data, we're going to make a variable for that. Call it config data. And to do the conversion from the JSON, we want to communicate with Unity, we're going to use the JSON utility class. So I'm going to assign the config to JSON utility. Then from JSON, we're going to pass in that class we just made. And this needs to take in text. And in order to do that, I'm going to use a text asset. And we're going to call this a JSON file. And then you'll take that JSON file variable and use the text from this text asset. And now with config, if this was successful, we should be able to do config.title and config.description. And I'm going to go ahead and assign the UI. And these right here are going to be our text components. And a description UI. So we're going to add this to any object in the scene. I'm just adding it to the main camera. I went ahead and made a title and a description text component that we can reference. And this right here, the text asset variable, that text that I was referring to earlier from, generated from the text editor, just take that, put it in your project, and then go ahead and assign it to that text asset variable. And then I'm assigning the title and description. Now that we have that configured, I can go ahead and modify this text, and I'll write, something random. Hit save on this. And if I turn this off and on, because it's in onEnable, notice it adjusts accordingly. Another way we could utilize JSON is to have an array in the text file instead, and each item of the array could have a name, a color that we could parse, and a position. So when this loads up in the scene, it'll create a couple cubes, change their color and their position and name. So to do that, we're going to make a couple more classes, and then we're also going to change this so it's less confusing. So I'm going to change this to config.json file, and then we're going to make a new class that we're going to call it props. So we're going to make a props prop JSON. And this is important because we want to be able to grab the values from the text file. So we're going to want to do a system.serializable. And this class is going to be taking a name and then color, as well as a position. And what we're going to do is when we go ahead and look at the text file, when we parse the string, either the color or the position, we're going to split the string by caret. So we'll need to make a helper class for that. So that text file you just saw is actually this prop data, and then we're going to use the prop JSON, make an array out of that, and we're just going to call this props. And one thing to note is that when you are looking to use an array, make sure that the name of the array matches this one right here, and then the variables on the inside of each item match the variables on the items class. So now we'll also make a reference to the prop data. And then in the same way here, we're also gonna, we want to assign the new prop data. And we're gonna use JSON utility for that as well. And then instead of using this JSON file, we're going to use props.json file. So what we want is, this is an array. I'm going to loop through the data on this array, and I'm going to start creating objects based on that. But before let's add the loop here. So we're going to do prop JSON. So for every JSON inside this data, we're going to create a cube, but before that, I want to be able to parse through the color and the position. So to do that, we're going to make a helper function, or two helper functions. One is we're going to parse the color, and it's going to take a string, and we're going to go ahead and make a string array, and then we're going to split based on caret, or really it could be any delimiter you want. But in this example, we're going to use a caret, and then we want to return a color based on these values. And right now I'm just using floats. And because it's strings we're using, we're going to want to do a parse, like a float.parse. And then this will do the 0 index. And then we'll want to go ahead and just copy this 2 more times, because you want to do the R, G, and B values. And then we're going to use the first index here and the second index here. So with this one, we're going to return a vector 3 instead. And we're going to use a position string as the value to come in, and we're pretty much going to do something very similar. Well, almost exactly the same. We're just changing the names. So positions equal the position string, and we're going to split by the caret again. And instead of the color, we're going to return a new vector. And we're also going to parse this as well, but we're going to parse the positions inside this vector. And I'm going to paste it 2 more times, and then we're going to change this index to 1 and this to 2, and now this will parse our position string and return the vector 3 that we need. So now that we have our parsing, we're going to go ahead and, to test this out, we're going to create a new game object based on the props data. And in this case, in this example, we have 2 here. So what this will do is it'll create 2 cubes, one that'll be named green tree, another orange tree. It'll change the colors, and right now I've figured out this is green, this is orange, and then these will be the positions of those cubes. So we're just going to do a game object, and we're going to create a primitive type. And with that created, we're going to assign a name so you can see in the scene. And when the cube's created, it's going to have access. We're going to be able to access the renderer. So I'm going to grab that, and then we're going to change the material's color. So this won't do anything because it's just a string. So we want to use that new parse function that we just created. So we're going to do parse color and then pass in the string. And then we're going to do the same thing with the position. And then we're going to parse the position here and then pass on the JSON.position. And then that's it. So when we load this up, we'll be able to see two cubes. And if you change the text at runtime and reload this script, it'll change based on what you've put in script or put in the text file. Actually use a single quote, not a double quote. So change that. So let's go ahead and add the text file that we just made. So now when you load it, you should see two cubes and two colors and positions. So there's our green tree and there's our orange tree. Now to show you that change I was talking about with runtime, let's go ahead and make this a blue tree. And to get those values, what I'm going to do is select this. And I'm going to grab these colors here. So I'm going to use that blue, so I'm going to copy this. Go to my file, change it here. Grab this one, change it here. And let's grab the very last one. Change it here. Okay, now save it. And also I'm going to change the height to like 1 just to show that it changes position. When I reload the script, or turn it off, turn it back on, now you'll see a blue tree. It just got created. So let me move the old green tree because I actually didn't remove it. So this is the new game object. We changed it to blue and we changed the position. Hey everyone, thanks for watching this video. If you have any comments or questions about it, post it down below in the description. And if you like it, don't forget to put a thumbs up on the video. And more videos like this are posted to the right of this. Thanks again for watching, and have a good one.